Brutally honest, unpopular opinions you're not ready for. Sports betting apps have ruined sports. I'm done. For 58 years, sports were more than just entertainment for me. They were a way of life. Hockey and baseball weren't just games I watched. They were part of my identity. I played, I analyzed, I lived for every season. At times, I even held season tickets, soaking up the energy of a live crowd. But this year, I've watched 6 hockey games, 0 spring training baseball, and I'm not coming back. Why? Because sports betting apps have completely hijacked the experience. Turn on a game and it's unavoidable. Commercials pushing odds, analysts talking parlays instead of plays, entire broadcasts catering to gamblers instead of real fans. The purity of the game has been replaced with nonstop gambling promotion. It's no longer about the love of the sport, it's about how much money can be won or lost. And the hypocrisy? It's mind-blowing. Pete Rose is still banned from the Hall of Fame for gambling, yet every major league now happily takes money from betting companies. If he were alive today, I bet he'd hear, "Tonight's game is brought to you by FanDuel" more times than his own name. So, I'm done. No more tickets, no more subscriptions, no more merchandise. Until betting is banned again, I refuse to spend a single dime on sports. Enjoy your parlays. I'll be in a museum appreciating something that hasn't sold its soul. People who watch YouTube and Netflix at 2x speed are maniacs. I get it. Sometimes speeding up a video makes sense. If you're watching a tutorial, a university lecture, or a DIY guide, sure, go ahead. Some people just talk unbearably slow. Even my professor could have used a little 1.5x boost. But watching movies and TV shows at 2x speed, that's pure insanity. Why are people treating entertainment like a to-do list? Are you trying to complete Netflix? It's like ordering a gourmet meal and blending it into a protein shake just so you can finish it faster. The whole point of watching a show is to experience the pacing, the emotions, the tension. When you speed it up, you're not really watching it. You're just consuming content as fast as possible. And honestly, I think this is just another symptom of modern brain rot. People have gotten so used to TikTok's fast cuts and nonstop stimulation that normal pacing feels too slow. If a scene lingers for too long, people check their phones. If a character takes a breath between sentences, it's too boring. Everything has to be faster and louder, or people lose interest. Personally, if I can't watch a movie at its intended speed, I'd rather not watch it at all. If you can't sit through a show without blasting through it like you're cramming for an exam, do you even like watching movies? Or are you just addicted to finishing things? Brushing your teeth before breakfast makes no sense. I've never understood why so many people, friends, family, even characters in movies, brush their teeth before breakfast. It's treated as this essential part of the morning routine, but why? You're literally about to eat and mess up your mouth all over again. Brushing after breakfast makes way more sense. You start your day with an actually fresh mouth instead of immediately coating your teeth with coffee, toast, or whatever else you're having. Why go through the trouble of cleaning your teeth only to undo it minutes later? The only real reason people brush before eating is because that's what they were taught as kids. It's just a habit, not something that actually makes logical sense. If the goal is to have clean teeth, brushing after breakfast is clearly the better option. Open casket funerals are traumatizing. I've never understood the need for closure by staring at the deceased. I'm not religious, but there's definitely something unsettling about looking at someone who isn't alive. They don't look like they're sleeping. They look gone. Their body is there, but they aren't. To this day, 2 things stand out in my memory about my grandma Cuckoo: her over-microwaved hot dogs for lunch and the moment I walked up to her casket. Seeing her like that, lifeless still, almost like an inanimate object, is something I'll never forget, and not in a comforting way. Even now, at 40, that image is burned into my mind. I get that some people find peace in it, but for me, open casket funerals don't bring closure, they just leave scars. Fighting in a relationship is not normal, and people who think it is are weird. Lately, I've seen way too many people claim that fighting in a relationship is normal and even healthy. Honestly, that mindset is bizarre. Why should 2 people who supposedly love and respect each other have regular fights? To be clear, I'm not talking about minor disagreements or the occasional misunderstanding. I'm talking about full-blown arguments, yelling, slamming doors, storming off. People act like that's just part of love, but it's not. A healthy relationship isn't built on constant conflict. If you and your partner are always fighting over trivial things, that's not a relationship, that's dysfunction. The only time a serious argument might make sense is if it's about something truly important, a potential deal breaker. But if you're fighting about chores, spending habits, or who forgot to text back, that's not passion. That's poor communication and unresolved resentment. A strong relationship is built on mutual understanding and respect, where issues can be addressed calmly and rationally. If your way of solving problems is shouting at each other, that's not healthy. It's toxic. I get it. No relationship is perfect. But this idea that fighting is a sign of a real relationship, that just sounds like an excuse to justify unhealthy behavior. If you're constantly fighting, don't normalize it. Ask yourself why you're in that relationship in the first place.